and gentlemen, to begin this morning's program, please welcome the Martin County Board of County Commissioners, Chairman of the Board, the benevolent one, Ed Campy.
What a world, what a life, I'm in love. I got a song that I sing, I can make the rain go anytime I move my finger. Lucky me, can't you see I'm in love? Life is a beautiful thing, as long as I hold the string. I'd be a silly soul.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much and good morning. We're so happy that you have decided to spend your morning with us. Allow me to apologize for my voice sounds a little raspy. I have a terribly, terribly infectious cold. So it was so great to greet all of you with hugs and kisses and shakes and handshakes this morning. Thank you. And also thank you so much for that sitting ovation. It was really very, very heartfelt. Thank you so much. I'll return the favor in a couple of minutes, about 45 minutes. If we could all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Now, I know some of you get very concerned when you hear my name announced and you see me walking towards a podium or a microphone. Some people feel that I have a tendency to run long. So to ease any concerns, I've asked that a timer be placed with my allotted amount of time so I won't run over. And then afterwards, we'll let Taryn say a few words and then we'll have lunch. Okay. First off, I want to thank New Hope Fellowship. Raise your hand if this is the first time you've ever been here. Fantastic. You see that, New Hope Fellowship? You see how many people I brought in, right? First timers. I love this space, and I'd like to thank them. This is a technologically advanced room. The state of the art is really something very remarkable in Martin County, and it's one of the only spaces like this even on the Treasure Coast, so we're blessed to have them here in Palm City. And I'd like to personally thank Pastor Gary, because I come here twice a month on Wednesdays so that I can re-watch the commission meetings on the big screen. So that I can re-watch the commission meetings on the big screen. I was just telling everybody how technologically, oh, here we are. That's nice. So I sit in here in the dark room by myself and I just re-watch. And I'll tell you, a couple of the other commissioners talk a lot more than I do. I have lots of people to introduce and a lot of people that put these things together, but I especially wanted to thank a couple of members of our staff. Laura and Martha Ann and Ralph and Mike and Bob have worked for weeks, if not months, on putting the booklets together and putting Ms. Krista's presentation together. And then at the last, take that down. Thank you. Please take that down. Seriously, take that down. In my mind, I have Doug Smith hair in my mind. They worked all over. They worked on the weekend. I stopped by here last night after 8 o'clock at night, and they're all here working, putting things together, getting the tables together, making sure the presentations were right. So I'd like to give them a round of applause, please. Now, this is a very important event, and that's why we're so happy that you're here. This is the State of the County Address, which I will be calling from now on the SOTCA. Okay, so if you hear me reference SOTCA, the State of the County Address. And Ms. Krista, I would like you also to, from now on, think of it as the SOTCA. Until you get a new chairman and they tell you to go back to the old way. And I'd also like to take a moment just to talk trash. Okay, and thank Jeff Sabin from Waste Management for once again generously sponsoring this event. The hall is given to us as a nice gesture from the New Hope Fellowship, and the breakfast is sponsored by Jeff and Waste Management, which is actually the same comments I mentioned I used last year, Jeff. So if you think about it, I've actually recycled those comments. In my mind, that was a much funnier joke. Now look, since it's an important Satka, there are a lot of very important elected officials and VIPs in the room representing all sorts of different organizations. I'm sure we'll forget some, but it would probably be easier for me to introduce the one or two people that just happened in for breakfast and have no idea what's going on this morning. But I'm not allowed to do that. So I will be making the introductions. Now, if you were here last year, you'll remember that I tried something different. Because if you've ever been to a government event or a chamber event and they start introducing the different folks, you're eating food, you're clapping, you're eating food, you're clapping, it'd take forever. And sometimes you're clapping while the second name is mentioned, so you just keep clapping anyway, you don't even know who you're clapping for. So what I tried last year, and it actually worked pretty well, and a couple of times throughout the year, I was invited to introduce large groups of people so that I could use that same procedure. If you're not familiar, I didn't invent this. If you have children that have ever done debate competitions, at a debate competition where they're making all of the announcements and giving out the prizes, when they announce the name, the entire group claps one single time. Now that's hard for people that are used to doing a lot of clapping. If you've ever been to an event where they say, please hold all of the applause till we mention all the names, no one can do that. It just, you hear the name, you clap. So let's practice. We'll say, Miss Taryn Krista, and then we all at once clap one single time. Taryn Krista. Perfect. Perfect. I've done that in groups where we have to do that 3 or 4 times just to get the practice in. So with that in mind, we're going to start at the top. We have our newly elected, but a very familiar face to all of us. This time she's the senator from our area, Miss Gail Harrell. Perfect. Representing Congressman Brian Mast, who is a dear friend to all of us. He might be coming this morning. We'll see. He likes to go to everything. We'll see, but he is very well represented this morning by Mr. Stephen Layton. Very nice. We have my colleagues on the county commission. I'm saving them all for last, but I'll introduce our staff very shortly. You're going to hear from our extremely talented administrator, Ms. Taryn Krista. That's 3 so far for you. And our deputy county administrator, Mr. Don Donaldson. And our assistant county administrator, Mr. George Stokas. Or as I like to call him, and he doesn't like to hear it, and you're all going to get to hear it now, Hocus Pocus George Stokas. There was some extra there, so that means they love it. And then our acting county attorney, another very familiar name and has been with the county for such a long time. Every time we need her to step up and do something above and beyond, she does it, Miss Krista Story. It's only 6 pages, so don't worry, I'm just heading right into page 2. From the clerk of the court's office, both of the Toms, O'Reilly and Harmer. Those 2, that's good. All of our friends from the city of Stuart, Vice Mayor Eula Clark, new commissioner and a great guy, and a new dad, by the way, but we're not going to give him extra claps for that, Commissioner Merritt Matheson. Their new city manager, oh, we got 2, someone else from the city. Oh, he clapped twice for himself. You're new, after a while you'll get over the clapping. They've done some musical chairs in the city of Stuart really successfully. Their city manager is their former police chief, David Dias. You choked me up there. And their city attorney, who used to be one of their county commissioners and is now their city attorney, my great friend, where is he? Mike Mortel. Hi, Mike. All the way from down south, they're going to win the prize for coming the furthest. The mayor of Jupiter Island, Mayor Whit Padot. The town manager, whose name, maybe his first name doesn't ring a bell for everyone, but his last name might, Mr. Gene Rout. and their deputy town manager, Michael Ventura. Town of Ocean Breeze. And if you haven't been up to the town of Ocean Breeze lately, you need to take a ride past there. They have done some remarkable things in the town of Ocean Breeze. It is absolutely beautiful there. The Jensen Beach Chamber has lunches and events there in a beautiful space. Congratulations, they've really done a very nice job. The Vice President, Ann Case. From the village of Indiantown, which I don't know, we might have to look on the map. Maybe Village of Indiantown is further than Jupiter Island. I apologize. Same demographic. Mayor Susan Gibbs Thomas. She is also historic mayor, the first elected mayor of the brand new Village of Indiantown. We'll give her one more. Thank you. And then a very familiar face and a friend to anyone under the age of 20, especially the superintendent of schools, Lori Gaylord. And a brand new school board member, my friend, Victoria Deffenthaler. Okay, that's actually the official list. So, now what I would like to do is take a moment of personal privilege, and you can clap more than once if you want to. My mom and dad are here. And I can guarantee you, my dad says every once in a while on occasion, and he'll tell me today, can't you just go by your first name? Do you have to use Campy? Sorry, Dad. This was a great idea in my mind at home. Now for my fellow commissioners. Let's see who's here. Right over there. And I know he's hoping that this is going to go quickly. See, I made them take the countdown clock down, but I can still see it over there. Don't turn around. He's no longer the new guy. Welcome, Harold Jenkins. I always need 2 other votes. I'm giving him all the claps. And looking, look right over there, attending her very first Satka. It's our brand new commissioner. Now she's been up all night long putting out campaign signs. She can't help herself. She loves campaigning so much. And we've been telling her, it's over. You won. You don't have to do it anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, Commissioner Stacey Hetherington. Now, I had remarks from my colleague, Commissioner Hurd, but we've heard that originally she was going to try to make it but was unable to. And I was just thinking that this meeting is actually being held outside of the urban service boundary, and that might have something to do with it. Edit that out. And right over there, the elder statesman of the Board of County Commissioners, he took 2 bridges to get here. He has come all the way from up north, and I very much appreciate it. The one and only Commissioner Doug Smith. Collectively, the 5 of us represent nearly 50 years and 90 days of hands-on government experience. So we're pretty well versed. Now, I've said this in the past, the commissioners and elected officials and sometimes even department heads, we get to take all the credit for all the good things that happen. I say we are there with the golden shovels and the big scissors. But in between the golden shovel and the big scissors is a tremendous amount of work that's handled by our fantastic county staff. One of the reasons I came back into office is not only to advocate on their behalf, but to be the recipient of the remarkable work that they've all done. We are so fortunate to have them. They deserve a full round of applause. Quite often I'm asked, Commissioner Campy, who do you think is the greatest county administrator the county has ever had? And what I tell her is, you are, Taryn. Ladies and gentlemen, she happens to be the greatest county administrator we've ever had. probably in the state of Florida. We are very, very fortunate to have her. Please give a warm welcome to our very own Miss Taryn Krista. I yield the remainder of my time to Ms. Krista, all 5 minutes.
Thank you. Oh, he's always a tough act to follow. Before I get started, though, this morning, I'd like to recognize my mom, who's here with us, Pat Gardner. Without her, of course, I wouldn't be where I am today, so thank you, Mom, for making it. So thank you, Chairman Campy, and good morning. Each year, I look forward to the State of the County Address, this opportunity to share challenges and accomplishments that drove Martin County government in 2018. It's also a chance for us to look ahead to projects and progress in 2019 and beyond. I am honored and privileged to serve you and our board in the role of County Administrator, and I am truly grateful to you for placing your faith and trust in me and my team. As I reflect on what we have accomplished during the last year, I am struck by how we are all key pieces of the puzzle that come together to make Martin County the great place that it is. The county organization and its staff, residents, businesses, elected officials, we are all integral parts of what make our community special. I believe that working together, we can do more. And the theme of my speech today and the comprehensive annual report you have in front of you conveys that sentiment. Looking out at the tables and around this room, I see our commissioners, executive leaders, members of our management team, and staff. All are here representing the departments that make up Martin County government. We are 15 departments strong, made up of a little more than 1,000 employees. We are dedicated, resourceful, committed, and we come to work every day with the goal of providing quality service to you, your families, friends, and neighbors. Together, we make a difference in our community, and together, we do more. As early as 1961, Martin County government was focused on protecting our natural resources, residents, and visitors from the harsh and damaging freshwater releases from Lake Okeechobee. Last year, we were devastated when the St. Lucie once again became plagued with blue-green algae. The algae bloom was due primarily to freshwater releases from the lake into our C-44 canal, along with stormwater runoff from surrounding local basins. The algae bloom impacted a major portion of the county's waterways, but this was not something that we were suffering alone. Our community and many others throughout the central southern portion of the state experienced environmental and economic hardships. We worked together with our partners at the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, Florida Fish and Wildlife, Florida Department of Health, and leveraged our long-standing legislative relationships for support. Each and every step of the way, we monitored, educated, and advocated for our environment, our residents, and our local businesses. Today, Martin County and neighboring communities, our stakeholders, and federal and state legislative partners continue to work together to move this conversation forward toward a solution. Together, we make a difference in our community, and together we can do more. We know that clean local waterways are critical to our community and surrounding areas. They help maintain a healthy Everglades and South Florida ecosystem, which supports tens of thousands of jobs and contributes billions of dollars to our economy. Our board continues to invest significantly in this crucial effort and is a leader in the development of water quality improvement projects in our region. One of those projects is the St. Lucie Shores, built on the All-American Ditch Basin, which was ranked as the most polluted tributary to the St. Lucie River for total nitrogen and total phosphorus. The St. Lucie Shores Water Quality Project was completed last year with the primary objective to deliver water quality treatment to stormwater runoff prior to discharging to the St. Lucie estuary. It is the latest in a long list of local water quality improvement projects. The entire project is 36 acres and is comprised of 9.4-acre lake and stormwater treatment area, which provides water quality treatment through the use of native vegetation. Collaboration was essential to the success of the St. Lucie Shores Water Quality Project, and completion was only possible through the cooperative relationship with South Florida Water Management District and our Florida delegation. These partnerships made the necessary land acquisition and funding possible with extensive public input and involvement. The St. Lucie Shores Water Quality Project is community-driven and supported, providing long-lasting benefits to our citizens and the environment. Utilizing multiple funding sources from all levels of government resulted in Martin County leveraging 44% of the project costs with a 56% contribution from other sources. The protection and preservation of these natural resources and the safety of our residents and the physical well-being of the county is a priority in everything that we do. Our beaches are certainly important to residents and visitors. And while nearly all beaches are naturally prone to gradual erosion, Hurricanes Matthew and Irma, along with high tides, strong winds, and heavy surf conditions, caused a significant change in some Martin County shorelines last year. Nourishment projects are a normal part of conservation and coastal management, and we completed 2 large projects in our beloved beaches in 2018. The Bathtub Beach Sailfish Point Beach Nourishment Project involved moving over 100,000 cubic yards of sand to our beaches that were immediately north of the St. Lucie Inlet, restoring sea turtle nesting habitat and the beach and the dunes that provide critical storm protection for infrastructure. Staff also completed a shore protection project on Hutchinson Island, consisting of placing nearly 400,000 cubic yards of sand on 4 miles of eroded shoreline. This widened the beach berm and raising the elevation of the beach through a partnership with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Speaking of keeping things in good working order, our General Services Department maintains 1.2 million square feet of buildings that house county departments, our constitutional officers, the 19th Judicial Court System, your state attorney's office, public defender's office, and the Holt Correctional Facility. In 2018, the General Services staff worked on many new and retrofit projects throughout the county, including a new evidence storage building for our sheriff at the Public Safety Complex and a new ocean rescue building at Jensen Beach. We're continuing on the theme of excellent service. Our library and parks and recreation departments connect our residents with their community every day. The Martin County Library System continues to provide services that inspire creativity and provide learning opportunities, improving individuals in our community. The library system added new children's books with digital readers to enrich our youngest readers' experiences at the library. And for our teens, the library hosted programs that allowed these teens to experiment with different means of self-expression. Through this innovative program, teens of all socioeconomic backgrounds were empowered to create and experiment with different types of art and literature that can immeasurably enrich their lives. Our Parks and Recreation Department continues to meet the community demands for recreational services. They manage more than 1,700 acres of public land that consists of 77 public parks, beaches and causeways, a public golf course, a water park, campground, community centers, and much more. In 2018, Parks and Rec completed major renovations at the Phipps Park Campground. An 1,100-foot shoreline stabilization project, 50-amp electrical service for 16 campsites, a new boardwalk, boat dock, fishing pier, and ADA accessible boat ramp have made Phipps Park a highly desired destination for campers from around the U.S. Parkgoers benefited from new restrooms at Bathtub Reef Beach Park and at Halpatioke Regional Park. Other park improvements and upgrades included replacement of piers and boat ramps at several parks, new shelter roofs at 5 parks, and new showers and water fountains at Jensen Beach. 2018 also saw Parks and Rec host the Babe Ruth World Series and the Cal Ripken Baseball World Series with an estimated direct economic impact of over $2.5 million here for Martin County. And if you haven't heard about our senior games, you're really missing out. Over 350 senior athletes ages 50 and over competed in 13 different sporting events, with the top qualifiers competing in the Florida Senior Games State Championships. I just wish I was old enough to compete in that because it sounds like it'd be fun. From the beaches to the boardroom, our legal team, staff, and board brought closure to a challenge that began in 2015 regarding a high-speed rail project through our community. From the beginning, we sought to safeguard taxpayer dollars and make sure environmental and safety concerns were identified and addressed. Martin County used legal, legislative, scientific, and administrative tools to provide the necessary, relevant information, hoping to resolve those concerns. Our approach was mindful, strategic, and resolute. In November, the board agreed to a settlement which achieved significant safety benefits, maritime navigation enhancements, cost savings, and other benefits for Martin County. For years, Martin County has recognized the transportation needs of the counties to our south and central areas. Realistic in realizing to stop the train completely was a futile effort, but focusing on what was tangible, ensuring safety and quality of life would be at the forefront of our negotiations, proved to be in the best interest of our community. We believe the process of challenging the rail project in state and federal courts over the past several years positioned Martin County to negotiate critical safety measures and significant financial savings for the county and our residents. Safety and other enhancements that Brightline Virgin Trains has committed to will move our community into a safer position. We fought hard on your behalf, and in the end, what was best for all of Martin County was to reach an agreement that provided the best outcome possible. So together, we make a difference in our community, and together we do more. From the budget perspective, the focus this past year, as in previous years, was primarily on the implementation of a comprehensive program to address the county's deferred maintenance for our county infrastructure. Reinvestment projects ranged from resurfacing roads and stormwater management to neighborhood restoration and bridge replacements. The county also completed water main extension and connection projects that provides reliable water and sewer service to our residents, as well as construction of the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Facility at the Martin County Airport. The fiscal year 2018 budget presented a continuation of challenges from prior years with modest increases in the tax base and in our major operating fund revenues. But each year, with creativity, tenacity, and teamwork, the list of achievements is long. We had some exciting firsts in 2018. The Rio Community Redevelopment Area, or CRA, was designated as one of 245 opportunity zones in the state of Florida. Part of the new federal program established by the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, opportunity zones are designed to strengthen economically struggling communities by encouraging long-term private investment. With a strong vision and development standards directed by the Office of Community Development and the Rio Community Redevelopment Plan, along with significant investments in sewer, water, and roadway improvements, this historic community of Rio is poised for enhanced growth and opportunities. Our tourism staff and their efforts are nationally recognized and help support a very significant piece of the Martin County puzzle, our local economy. This past year, the Martin County Office of Tourism and Marketing teamed up with the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission to reel in our anglers with Catch a Florida Memory Program. This recognized saltwater anglers for their fishing skills and encouraged them to target multiple species to decrease pressure on the most commonly sought after species. Martin County was the first destination to officially support this program, which led others to follow. And from fish to fire, Martin County Fire Rescue, in partnership with Coral Springs Fire Academy, graduated its first in-house paramedic class. With this inaugural program, we were able to strengthen fire and emergency services education, giving our graduates a stronger career foundation and expanding their knowledge in their field so they can better serve our community. Because of this training course, Martin County Fire Rescue is now certified as a National Association of Emergency Medical Technician Training Center. Speaking of Martin County Fire Rescue, we supported communities in the Panhandle that were devastated by Hurricane Michael by deploying strike teams to assist with relief efforts. Florida put together a massive relief effort using multiple ambulance and engine strike teams, including more than 140 fire rescue responders from the Central and South Florida. It is believed to be the largest fire rescue deployment since Hurricane Andrew in 1992. Together, we make a difference in our community. Together, we can do more. Providing services to 85% of the county is one of our greatest challenges, is the ability to repair and maintain our infrastructure, our roads, drainage systems, bridges, buildings, parks, and technology. With the failure of the proposed 1-cent sales tax and our fire assessment fee, prioritization of the county's capital needs and utilizing other funding sources continues to be a primary focus. As we begin another year, I'm really excited by the steps we've taken to build a strong community. We are committed to protecting our natural resources, providing outstanding and cost-effective services, and keeping our residents and our visitors safe. I'm confident in your board, who continues to lead us in the right direction. I appreciate the unique perspective and the strong voice of each of our commissioners. Present with you today is your District 1 Commissioner, Doug Smith, your District 2 Commissioner, Stacey Hetherington, your District 3 Commissioner, Harold Jenkins, and District 5 Commissioner, and our beloved Chair, Ed Campy. Benevolent, I'm sorry, not beloved, benevolent. I gotta get it right. So the board has been working on plans to replace outdated fire stations and build a new training facility for more than a decade. At board direction, refurbishment and replacement of 4 fire stations, a new training facility, and several other projects were included along with the associated debt service in our fiscal year 2019 capital improvement plan and our 2019 adopted budget. Also planned is a designated training and care facility for our 4-legged deputies that are in Martin County Sheriff's K-9 unit, the relocation of maintenance facilities, and also our golf course renovations. This means the county has approved these projects and will borrow money with a multi-year obligation for payment to complete them. The funding stream for the debt service will come from recurring non-ad valorem revenues, which includes your ambulance transport fees and state shared revenues. The board also added focus and funding to Martin County's septic to sewer conversion program by committing $4 million annually so that we could leverage our state legislative requests. The dedicated funding will increase the amount of homes that we convert and decrease the timeline for completion. The reduction and elimination of septic systems is just another way that we can proactively improve the health of our local waterways, including the St. Lucie Estuary and the Indian River Lagoon. Again, together, we make a difference in our community, and together we do more. In the end, it's all about working together to put the pieces in place to build a community strong in spirit, resilient, and prepared for the future. On behalf of the men and women who work with me through your Martin County government, we look forward to working together, advancing the priorities of the board on your behalf, our Martin County residents. I am pleased to share with each of you a copy of our 2018 annual report, which includes detailed information on the accomplishments of each of your departments. I hope you enjoy reading it, as we are proud of the accomplishments of Martin County government. I hope you're encouraged by what you've heard here today. Our county government is responsive and innovative. Our community is engaged, and our collective voice is strong. The state of Martin County is pretty good. I'd like to wrap up with this quote this morning. Coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success. We move into 2019 with vision and synergy to overcome our challenges, find solutions to our problems, and to celebrate our successes. Thank you for your time this morning. And with that, I'd like to turn this back to our chair, Commissioner Campy, for closing remarks. We still have like 30 minutes. Okay.
Well, if you didn't already need proof that Ms. Krista is fantastic, you just got it, correct? We are so very fortunate. Ms. Krista gives us the sort of the feedback that the Martin County government and our staff does, but let's face facts, ladies and gentlemen. Martin County is the remarkable place that it is because of the not-for-profits and the chambers of commerce and the Business Development Board and the Economic Development Council and all of the volunteers, some associated with other groups, others just come and work independently for the NACs and the CRAs and all of the different organizations. Collectively, our community is what makes Martin County so wonderful. And you are all perfect examples of that this morning. So with that, I wish you a wonderful day and safe travels home. And we will see you again, if not sooner, for something else next year. Thank you so much.
And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I traveled each and every highway and more, much more than this. I did it my